The film opens in the bustling city of Singapore. A man named Matt is organizing a very special party. He wants to surprise his girlfriend Jessie by asking her to marry him. And Matt can't wait to see Jessie's delighted expression when he asks the big question. Everything appears to be in order, but just as things are going well, a traitor at the party reveals a bomb. Matt's heart sinks as he realizes this is a dangerous plan that could harm many people. He quickly locates the bomber and rushes to avert disaster, but the bomb explodes despite his best efforts. The explosion is massive, destroying everything and everyone, including Matt. However, something strange happens. Matt opens his eyes in an unfamiliar room, feeling perplexed. He notices a woman beside him. She gently takes a bracelet off his wrist, and everything goes dark again. When Matt wakes up, he finds himself floating in a river, scared and lost, trying to figure out what happened. He swims to shore and looks around. To his surprise, he recognizes some of the partygoers, but there are also many unfamiliar faces. Deborah and her boyfriend Antonio have survived, but Jessie is missing. Matt, determined to find answers, teams up with Daniel, a historian. They decide to leave Deborah and Antonio behind and investigate the strange new world they've discovered. As they wander, Daniel discovers a mysterious bracelet that resembles the one Matt previously owned. He uses it to open a box containing food. This reminds Matt of his own bracelet, leading him to believe that they share a deeper connection. Their adventure takes an unexpected turn when they meet a girl named Tomo. She appears perplexed and wonders if she is dead. Matt, unsure of the answer, informs her that no one truly knows. He discovers that Tomo is from Japan approximately 800 years ago. Daniel is astounded and intrigued by her story. Even more surprising, Tomo speaks English fluently, despite never having learned it. She explains that she picked it up in her dreams, adding to the mystery. While exploring further, Matt discovers a girl who has had her food stolen. Feeling sorry for her, he assists in returning her food. Suddenly, he hears someone shout, "Jessica!" His heart races as he rushes towards the sound, hoping that it will lead him to Jessie. He finds a man named Richard, but when Matt questions him about Jessie, Richard becomes enraged. He punches Matt and tells him to forget about Jessie, making Matt even more confused. That night, Matt has terrible nightmares about dead bodies. When he awakens, he finds himself next to a man who appears strange and not quite human. Matt, still shaken, asks who the man is. Instead of responding, the man warns Matt not to listen to the upper bodies, making him even more confused and afraid. As he tries to comprehend his situation, Matt is struck by an unusual force. The woman he had seen after the explosion reappears, warning him to avoid Richard and his men, whom she calls traitors. She vanishes as quickly as she appeared, leaving Matt even more perplexed. Later, Matt runs into Tomo again in the forest. She asks him if he's seen anything unusual. Tomo reveals that she wanted to become a nun because she loved a man, while Matt discusses his previous job as a TV reporter. During their conversation, Matt discovers the girl who caused the explosion hiding behind a rock. Anger and sadness overcome him, and he confronts her about the devastation. Tomo intervenes to calm him and speaks kindly to the girl while treating her wounds. The girl explains that she was promised a beautiful afterlife for her participation in the bombing, but she now feels lost and hopeless. Suddenly, Richard's soldiers appear and surround Matt, Tomo, and the rest. They quickly overpower the group, capturing them and making them Richard's prisoners. This worsens their already complicated situation. During the chaos, Antonio is tragically killed by soldiers. Some of the survivors are forced to join Richard's army and wear uniforms to demonstrate their allegiance. Despite the danger, Matt encourages his friends to devise an escape plan. He suggests that they sneak onto a ship and flee, but just as they are about to act, the soldiers apprehend Matt, leaving their group without a leader. Matt finds himself in a dark prison cell next to Simon, an old friend and former cameraman. Seeing Simon gives Matt some comfort, but he is still looking for answers. Simon reveals something shocking. 6 years have passed since the bombing in Singapore. Matt is stunned. When he asks Simon about Jessie, he says he last saw her when they were fleeing Richard. He adds that he was killed during the chase and had no idea what happened to Jessie afterward. As Matt's friends attempt to flee, Richard discovers and apprehends them. Richard is intrigued that Matt does not have a bracelet, so he decides to keep him alive, hoping Matt knows something about the caretakers, mysterious beings who appear to control this new world. Even though some people want Matt dead, Richard chooses to imprison him, leaving Matt lonely and isolated. As Matt struggles with his memories of being a war reporter, the mysterious woman reappears one last time. She tells him to go find Jesse and that a man named Sam will be waiting for him by the river. After delivering her message, she vanishes, and Matt can't stop thinking about her words. When Matt says Sam's name aloud, the prison guard pays attention. The guard drags him out of his cell and demands to know how Matt learned about Sam. In an unexpected twist, a young girl appears and encourages Matt to flee. With Richard and his soldiers pursuing him, Matt makes a daring run for the river, hoping to find freedom and possibly even Jesse. Matt being rescued by Sam's companions, who pull him onto their boat and save him from his enemies. As they sail away, the mysterious female figure known as the caregiver reappears. She urges Matt to kill Richard, the villain, but Matt refuses, steadfast in his belief that he will not commit murder. Frustrated by his decision, the caregiver vanishes in a blinding flash of light, leaving Matt perplexed and disturbed. Not long after, a rebellion breaks out among the slaves who were previously under Pitaro's cruel rule. Tomo, a skilled and courageous warrior, leads the charge. She fights fiercely against Richard's soldiers. Meanwhile, Richard notices Sam's boat approaching and instructs his men to prepare for combat. As the fight progresses, the slaves gain the upper hand through sheer determination, defeating a large portion of Richard's forces. Matt and Sam also help secure an important victory. Despite the chaos, Richard escapes the battlefield. Later, as Matt, Sam, and their crew sail down the river, Richard appears with a hostage. In an unexpected move, he shoots Sam once and Matt 3 times. Richard adds to Matt's anguish by revealing that Jessie, the woman he loves, has moved on and is now involved with another man in Riverworld. Richard leaves them stranded in the river, along with Simon, Tomo, and the rest of their group. During the confrontation, Sam's wife begs for mercy and remains on the boat, while 2 of Sam's crew members flee in fear. Following the attack, Simon and Tomo desperately search for Matt in the river, but are unable to find him. Tomo, feeling hopeless, suggests that they have no choice but to align with Richard in order to survive, regardless of the fear and danger this decision brings. Meanwhile, Matt is saved by the caregivers. The caregivers put Matt on a special machine that allows him to remember everything, including the heartbreaking truth that Jesse has fallen for Richard. Overwhelmed by betrayal, Matt struggles to accept that the woman he loves is now linked to his greatest enemy. Following this painful revelation, the caregivers inform Matt that he will only be free if Richard continues his plans to destroy Riverworld. Later, the female caregiver contacts Tomo and asks her to find and rescue Matt, who is now in prison. Jessie tearfully admits that she turned to Richard out of loneliness in Riverworld and begs Matt's forgiveness. Though Matt wishes to focus on their reunion, their time together is cut short when Jessie is suddenly abducted by an unknown force, leaving Matt heartbroken once more. As the story nears its conclusion, Matt and Tomo, led by the female caregiver, embark on a mission to stop Richard's evil plans. They face several challenges, but are determined to succeed. Frustration grows as Matt and Tomo try to catch up with Richard's boat, which is far ahead. Just when things seem hopeless, the caregiver appears, revealing Richard's exact location and introducing a futuristic flying vehicle that can assist them. With newfound hope, Matt and Tomo secure a ride on the craft with the help of its owners. At the same time, Sam and his team, exhausted and hungry from climbing a mountain, notice the flying vehicle in the sky. With renewed hope, they board the craft and join the pursuit of Richard's boat from above. After locating the boat, they prepare for a final confrontation. Richard is caught off guard and rushes to gather his valuables. Sam discovers that some of Richard's men have been poisoned by snacks secretly provided by his wife, who proudly admits the crime. In an unexpected turn of events, the aircraft carrying Matt and his team catches fire and explodes, leaving everyone on Richard's boat stunned. During the confusion, Richard and his remaining followers flee on a smaller boat. Tomo alerts the group on the ground, and they refocus on chasing Richard, determined to put an end to his destructive plans. The chase leads Matt and his companions to a cave. During the pursuit, one of Richard's soldiers fatally wounds Tomo. Matt holds her in his arms as she dies. In the midst of this emotional moment, Matt discovers a glowing object, which prompts Richard to return. They fight fiercely, and Matt eventually stabs Richard, believing that victory is near. Just then, Jessie appears at the cave entrance, pleading with Matt not to kill Richard. Matt is perplexed and devastated by her actions, questioning why she would defend Richard, who threatens to destroy their world. Before he can fully comprehend her betrayal, Richard awakens and activates a device that alters their reality. Suddenly, an aircraft takes off, and Richard seizes the opportunity, boarding the plane. The world around them fades to a blinding white, and Matt returns to the riverbank. To his surprise, Sam arrives in a boat, and Matt is overjoyed to be reunited with his friends. the female caregiver reappears, informing Matt that his actions have successfully saved Riverworld. Despite his uncertainty about his place in this strange world, Matt recognizes that his decisions have had a significant impact. As Matt mulls over what has occurred, he inquires with the caregiver as to where Jessie might be. She admits uncertainly that she does not know. Despite feeling both sad and hopeful, Matt returns to his friends, determined to face the unknown challenges of this strange afterlife. The story concludes with Matt and the others returning to the cold resurrection chamber, implying the continuous cycle of rebirth that defines Riverworld. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.